Hey, beauties and cuties. Welcome to Coach LeAnna Speaks, where we talk about life because life be happening. So, what is your co-parenting life like? That's a touchy subject, huh? Do you have a co-parenting life? If you do, is it a struggle? Or is it non-existent at all? What would you do to improve it if you do have one? What do you ask for? What do you want? Come on in. Let's talk about it because life be happening. Hey, beauties and cuties. Welcome to Coach LeAnna Speaks, where we talk about life because life be happening. So, today's question that was asked was, what is your co-parenting life like? Ooh, this is a touchy subject, ain't it? What would you like to do to improve it? Is it a struggle? Or is it even non-existent? Let's talk about it. Let's start with, what is co-parenting? Co-parenting is when you and the other person that you had a child with come together amicably to do what's best for the sake of your child. Is this easy to do? Especially if you ended on hard terms, right? So let's talk about it. I feel like co-parenting can be a struggle in many, many homes. It could be the woman didn't want the relationship to end. She's not happy or she's resentful that he's moved on, or vice versa. The man wasn't happy the relationship ended and he's resentful that she moved on. And so neither one of them want to do what needs to be done for the other child, for the child or the children. It could be a struggle. A lot of the time, co-parenting is hard because the parents put themselves in the equation. My oldest son graduated from high school last year. And his father and I hadn't had a real conversation in years. Okay. And now our son is 18 and I was just like, okay, he's grown. We don't really have to have this communication thing, right? But when my son graduated high school, one of his many requests was, Mom, I want my father to be there. I did this. I raised you. I got you to this point and you want. Rant over. I said, okay, that's fine. His father came, and his father, where his hotel room was a distance from where the graduation was. And he came down by train. So he asked if it was possible that I could come pick him up. Mind y'all, I haven't talked to this man in years. But my son's girlfriend and I went and picked him up because I took myself out the equation. I said, this is not about you, LeAnna. It's about my son. And this is his request. So I went and picked him up, took him to the graduation. He sat at the graduation with the family, and then I dropped him back off. And what I had posted, when I posted a picture of our son, him and I, the quote that I posted stated, co-parenting is when two parents can come together for the sake of your child. When you learn to take yourself out the equation and focus fully on what's the main important thing, and that's your child. I think a lot of people, that goes right on over their head because it's about me. Why he do me like this? Why she do me like this? Why she cheated on me? Why she couldn't tell me this? Why? Once again, your whys about what you wanted and what you feel aren't going to do anything for this child. When you learn to take yourself out the equation, it helps both you, the other parent, and the child. A lot of times I feel like co-parenting is a struggle when there's still emotional attachment, right? Like I said, the relationship didn't end well, and so you still love them and they still love you, and y'all just can't be together, but you're gonna do whatever you can to be vindictive and be mean and hateful and whatever. Let me ask you a question. How does that affect your child? You ever thought about that? I run across people all the time because I talk to a lot of different people, and I run across people all the time. I don't care. He don't see his child. I don't care. That breaks my heart. And it don't break my heart for neither one of the parents. It breaks my heart for the child because this child still needs to see the other parent. Regardless of what that parent does or what that parent is capable of or how that parent is, that's that child's parent. Like I tell people all the time, I look at my children and I be like, I chose that man. I can't be mad at nobody but me because I picked him. I picked him. I said, you're going to be my baby daddy. I picked him. So how can I be mad about how he is? Because I made a decision in my head to go ahead and procreate with him. So when you learn to become accountable for what you did, then you can learn to understand the steps of, I did this, okay? I know how he is, okay? But I can't keep allowing to hold all this anger and resentment toward this person because that's not doing nothing for my child. My baby need their daddy. My baby need her mama. Whatever it may be, the baby still needs that other parent. The importance of a two-family home means a mother is going to do what she's supposed to do for that child and with that child. The father is just as important, and they come in and do what they need to do for that child in however or whatever role they need to be in that child's life. When we cut that parent out or cut this parent off, we are really cutting out the lives of the child. It is a lot of adults in this world who are walking around with resentment toward another parent, but don't really know the whole story about why this parent didn't come, why this parent wasn't a part, or why this parent had no actor or no part in their life. You don't know what your mama then told this parent or what your daddy then said or did to make them not be in your life. Before you start holding on to those grudges and those resentments toward them, get your answers. Ask those questions. And if your parents aren't here to ask, go to relatives. Because, baby, let me tell you, most times, auntie gonna know what happened. She just never told you because she made a promise to her sister that she was not gonna tell you, right? But if you need to know why your mom or your dad wasn't there, ask questions. Because a lot of times what we do is we hold all that anger and resentment in, and we have our own children, and then once something goes wrong, we just keep our children from that parent because that's what our parents did, right? Be the cycle breaker. I grew up, my father and I, we had a very strained relationship. Like, I knew who my father was. I hardly ever had a relationship with my dad because of other reasons, right? My mom and dad broke up when I was like 9. And when they went their own separate ways, we tried to do daddy-daughter weekends and stuff happened and we couldn't do it, right? So that'll be a video one day. I'm going to tell y'all about my story of my daddy. Anyway, it's nothing bad, but I have to let y'all know. So anyway, when I got older to have children and started having my own children, one thing I always said was I never wanted to hold my children back from their parent. Now, as I started this off, I told you my oldest son's father and I didn't talk for years. And because we didn't talk for years, well, he didn't see his son for years. Do I resent that? Yes, because I feel like I strained a relationship that he could have been having and building with his son over the years, and I didn't do that. You live and you learn. This is why I'm talking about co-parenting now. I want someone to learn from my mistakes. So now that my son is 18, him and his father, they have a relationship. They're growing to know one another in adulthood. When my son needed his father the most while he was growing up to become a man, I took those years from him. I apologize to that. But that's what happened. I chose my own feelings. I chose my thoughts. I chose whatever. So that wasn't fair to my child or his father. My ex-husband and I, even though we are divorced, we co-parented very well. We co-parent now very well. We got it scheduled, so every other weekend the kids go be with him and the kids are with me. We figure out holidays. We communicate, because that is something you have to know how to do. Now, all the things we couldn't do while we was married, we do greatly now. Ain't that funny how that happens? Anyway, so we do this very well now. We took our emotions and our feelings aside and we focused on the kids, because at this point, that's the factor. Our children. And we want them both to be happy. And I always vowed that I wanted them to have a relationship with their father. And I'm also one that I don't talk down or bad on neither one of my children's fathers, because I don't want my kids to go and have resentment toward their dad because of how I feel or something I went through or something I dealt with their father. I want their relationship to be whole and healthy for them. And so they have to make their choices and their decisions and feel the way they feel. And a lot of times we sit back and we talk bad on them and we pour all this into these kids because they're listening. Oh, well, my daddy ain't nothing. He don't do nothing. He don't this. He don't that. Well, oh, my mama ain't nothing. She out here with all these other people and she don't do nothing for me. So you have to be mindful of the things you say about the other parent around your children, because they taking all that in. And you're just programming them to grow up to have resentment toward their parent. We don't want that. Today, we are going to break some cycles. If you don't get along with your child's father or your child's mother, figure out why. What is it? Are you still holding on to some emotions? If you're talking about, man, F that B, man, forget him, you still holding on to some emotions. If you are still questioning or you mad because they done moved on, they got somebody else, they got more kids, whatever. You have to learn to take yourself out of the equation. And in order to do that, you have to heal, forgive, and let go. Once you learn how to do that, baby, co-parenting is a breeze. You'll be like, hey, do you think this weekend you can get the kids? Okay, see you then. It's not easy. I'm never going to tell you it is. But it also starts with you healing you figuring out, you becoming accountable, because at the end of the day, you chose that person to lay down and procreate with. Whether you wanted to or not, you did. And this is the result. Now you have to be stuck with this person for the rest of your life. So why not just co-parent in a way that's best for the children, not for you? Okay. All right. I think that's it. Until next week, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment. How's co-parenting for you? What's your life? Is it a struggle or is it non-existent? Why is it struggling? Why is it non-existent? There's some questions that need to be answered, but only you can answer them. Okay? Every day that you have breath, you have purpose. Thrive in that. Be great in that. Greatness lies within you. It is just waiting on you to unlock it and level up. Until next week, love you. Bye. Mwah.